KBTC, a viewer-supported community service of Bates Technical College.
From KBTC Public Television Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Welcome to the Steve on the Street podcast, a closer look behind the headlines as public policy and current affairs impact the real lives of real people.
Hello, and welcome to the Steve on the Street podcast, produced by Northwest Now, broadcast on KBTC Public Television. I'm your host for the podcast, photojournalist and reporter Steve Kiggins. Today's episode covers this year's general election in November. Candidates are running in races for school districts and city councils. Fire and water and utility districts across Puget Sound are all vying for your vote this year. State Senate and representative offices are also up for grabs, and even though 2025 might be an off year for elections, there's still quite a few high-profile races that many are keeping a close eye on, like Seattle's mayor's office and the race for King County executive. Not to mention, President Trump and MAGA allege vote by mail is ripe for election fraud. Last year, we did see a series of ballot box fires in Southwest Washington and Oregon. Those ballot boxes were targeted. The FBI is offering a $25,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest and conviction in those cases, but documented cases of mail ballot box fraud are otherwise extremely rare. In 2024, Snohomish County Elections invested around $10 million in new infrastructure to further centralize its efforts to process ballots. Next on the podcast, take a listen to our coverage of those efforts by the Snohomish County Auditor on Northwest Now. Technicians run a series of test ballots and envelopes through their paces inside the new home for Snohomish County Elections. Located on the third floor of the Admin West building in downtown Everett are 17,000 square feet, transformed in the summer of 2024 to house the county's brand new election center.
We had an opportunity when we were building out this facility to really think about how can we be as transparent as possible.
Federal grants and county savings cover the multi-million-dollar budget that transformed this floor into the election center. Once completed, Snohomish County Auditor Garth says the election center includes increased security, expanded operational capacity, and improved visibility for observers.
This was a rare opportunity, both the space availability here on campus, as well as some additional funding from the federal government.
Fell says the center employs several layers of security and protocols that protect controlled access systems, employees, equipment, and ballots. 24/7 surveillance cameras keep watch from up above and provide observers multiple monitors to view all the action. This hallway curves around the center, providing unobstructed views of election workers and ballots. And up above, removed ceiling tiles expose air ducts and data cables.
As you can tell when you walk through the facility, we have no drop ceiling. That's something we learned from another jurisdiction and continue to share with others as well.
In August, President Trump called mail-in ballots corrupt and vowed executive action.
We get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots.
The United States Constitution empowers states to choose the time, place, and manner of elections. Washington's elections have been vote by mail since 2011, a process Auditor Fell insists remains secure.
Ultimately, voters have complete control over how they return their ballot, whether by mail or by drop box, and they can see that their ballot has been received by going to votewild.gov.
In the North Sound, Steve Kiggins, Northwest Now. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to speak with elections officials across Washington state and beyond and see up close and in person the myriad of methods deployed to ensure our elections are safe and secure. Next on the podcast, take a listen to an extended interview with Snohomish County Auditor Garth Fell.
Yeah, I've been the Snohomish County Auditor since 2020. So after the 2020 election, we recognized that the number of voters that we have in Snohomish County continues to grow, and we had a need for a larger facility just to handle the capacity. We also recognize that the security requirements around elections have continued to change, and so we wanted to make sure that we could have a facility where our workers could be safe and could do their work effectively. And it also provided a wonderful opportunity for us to improve transparency so that in the public could come and observe the elections process and really have the same level of confidence we have in our vote-by-mail system.
Yeah, I think you said that you were, contracting out to kind of whatever space was available. Is that what that reality looked like?
Yeah, so in both the 2016 and 2020 elections, we leased space off campus to perform all of our inbound processing, and that created some logistical challenges, having it off campus. Certainly it worked and was safe and secure, but in following 2020, we had an opportunity to bring all those services back here on campus to a central location, place where we could again enhance security, and a place that was familiar to the public, so when they showed up, they could see what was going on with the election process.
It sounds like when you're trying to do this elsewhere outside of the facility you're able to construct and design on your own, that's got to be a nightmare for trying to probably accommodate observers.
The interest in the 2020 election certainly helped us understand that we needed to improve our facility situation. The other benefit that we saw was with COVID, more people were working remotely. So space actually opened up here on campus so that we could build this facility out here on the county campus. So while COVID was a horrible thing for the nation and the world, it did create some opportunities for doing business differently, and created some space here on campus. This was a rare opportunity, both the space availability here on campus, as well as some additional funding from the federal government to allow us to build out this facility, roughly $10 million in a remodel that in most years wouldn't happen. But because of federal funding and some other money that we had saved over the years, we were able to really build out a facility that is a benchmark for other elections offices.
Talk about that being a benchmark. You've got other agencies calling up Snohomish County saying, tell me about what you did.
Yeah, we do have other offices that are interested in what we've done, how we've handled transparency. As you can tell when you walk through the facility, we have no drop ceiling. That's something we learned from another jurisdiction and continue to share with others as well, that it really creates an open environment. We've shared our security measures and how we've maintained multiple levels of security in the facility, including key card access to all spaces, additional cameras throughout the facility, and then also PIN numbers and other requirements to get into specific spaces that store ballots and our computer equipment. And ensuring that no one person can access any location with ballots or equipment. It requires multiple people to scan badges to access those spaces. Typically when you go into an office building, you'll see a very uniform ceiling with lights, and you know that up in that ceiling there is duct work and cable runs and electricity. And we decided to expose all of that based on recommendation from another county and the work they had done, to just ensure the public that there's nothing hiding in the ceiling. If you want to follow the data cables that are running throughout the building, you can do that just by looking up. If you want to see what ductwork is up there, you're going to be able to see how big that ductwork is, and that it's quite small and can't house people or other devices.
So it's more so than just the physical infrastructure that needs securing, but it's also the perception is what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's demonstrating that there's complete transparency to this process. This is the people's process. We have the honor of being able to administer it on the behalf of Snohomish County residents, and we want to make sure that it's an open process in which the public can come and see exactly what we're doing, how we've got things set up, and can have, again, that confidence that we have in the process.
I know when I've covered similar issues in other jurisdictions, like I remember when I was invited to Thurston County, they had computers in something similar to this location that also had USB ports that were physically blocked. Yes. They purchased devices that would make it impossible for an outsider to even just walk in and attempt to do something. Who knows what that even looks like? I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but there's really this concept of It's more than the physical infrastructure. It is providing a transparency that's should be plain obvious to anyone that walks past to see it.
Yeah, we use a number of visual cues. Even though we have technology that helps us secure everything, we also have tried and true physical methods that help people recognize that nobody has been into the space. So even though we have two key card access requirements to get in some of the rooms that store ballots and our voting equipment, we also put a tamper evidence seal on the door each night, just so that when people come in, they can see that it's been sealed with the same number of seal that was from the night before. So we need multiple levels of security, things that are happening certainly within the systems and behind the scenes that are important, but also those obvious physical security measures are important as well, because they give us a cue as to whether or not something should be investigated. Yeah, elections administrators are always trying to think of what next and what additional measures can we put in place to have an accurate count, to have a secure count, to have a transparent count. And so there are things that are going to happen in each election which we're going to learn from, and we're going to improve the process. I think that from my perspective, vote by mail in Washington State is a secure method because of our years and years of experience and learning and working collaboratively with the legislature and others to improve the process of conducting vote by mail elections.
On that same note, can you envision in your mind where it would be more secure to eliminate mail-in voting?
I think that with mail-in voting, we've proven that it's a secure method. I think the challenge, if you were to eliminate mail voting, is just the disenfranchisement of a number of people that would choose not to participate or would be unable to participate because of the barriers that an in-person voting environment brings.
Military and overseas ballots have already been mailed out for this year's general election. Your ballot is mailed out at least 18 days before the election. And after filling out your ballot, don't forget to add your signature. Thanks again to Snohomish County Auditor Garth for sharing your time and offering the tour of your new facilities in Everett. And also thanks to Sierra, Max, and all the other county election employees who shared their time and expertise with me during my visit. Your support just by listening, I appreciate you being here. Northwest Now explores the people and places, the issues and stories that reflect and define who we are and where we call home. Be sure to join the broadcast each week, Friday evenings at 7:30 on KBTC Public Television. Once more, I'm reporter and photojournalist Steve Kiggins. Until next time, cheers.